Hey guys, you just checking in. Today I'm here to talk about why I did not pick up Star Wars Battlefront 3. Now I know this game has a ton of hype behind it, but it's also made by EA. There was also a bunch of information leaked about this game, and I feel like this is EA's first major step into business instead of pleasing the fans. So if you guys know anything about Star Wars Battlefront, I mean, I've watched a few reviews, I've seen some people's opinions, and some of the facts that they've pulled out of this game. But also, I'm still going to give you guys my honest opinion about why I did not pick up this game, and why I choose not to support this, and why I'm not picking up DLC. Like I told you guys before, I'm done taking a stand. Made that video a couple weeks back, maybe a few weeks back. I'll leave the link in the description. But let's get into it. So, the reason I'm not picking up Battlefront now, I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm not like a huge Star Wars fan like some of these people out here who, you know, invest most of their time learning about the lore, reading the books and stuff like that. But ultimately, I just find myself as just a person who enjoys the movies, and I enjoy the original Star Wars Battlefront game. So let's address the first complaint that I had in this game, that it felt too easy. Now, I understood why they made the game easy, because this was supposed to be kind of a movie-inspired game, obviously, but the biggest problem with that is when you make a game single, or when you make a game multiplayer only, and you take out all single-player aspects, then people are going to want some type of competitive nature. But when you take out reloading, have the guns cool down, there's really no recoil, recoil change for when you're moving. It just doesn't, you know, really fit the build, and the game feels very casualized, and that's what I picked up from the beta, and that's also another reason I didn't get it. But also you have to understand that when Battlefront 1 and 2 came out, those weren't super competitive games either. But at the same time, they were also more challenging than this Battlefront reboot that they released. So that's one reason. The second is a $60 or $50 season pass. So, you know, biggest issue, this new trend in the gaming industry where people, and I feel bad for the youngins who think that this is a norm now, where you have to pay $50 or $60 for more fucking content in the game that you deserve when you pay $60, because $60 is already a ton of money. So if you think about the revenue and the profits that they're making, it's no better than, you know, pre-ordering a game. So yeah, I don't want to have to feel like I'm buying all this extra content for the game that I should have gotten at first. It's just it's a terrible trend, and really not much should have to be said about that. I mean, people on YouTube have made this very clear that we should not support this, and we can bitch and talk about this all we want on the mics, but as soon as we start, you know, not buying into this, or as soon as we, you know, start refunding our games, getting money back, and we just let this trend die and let them go back to putting $60 worth of games into the actual game, or $60 worth of content to the actual game, then people are going to be happier with how it is. Another reason I didn't pick up the game is the content. Now, you know, the game has 11 weapons, like 4 big maps and like 8 smaller maps, and, you know, apparently the maps are very simplified. They're kind of unbalanced towards the Rebel. But, you know, I was talking to a guy at GameStop yesterday who's like, yeah, you know, people always bitch about the Rebels and how they were getting destroyed at the beta, but that's how it was in the movie. Okay, one, that is how it was in the movie. The Rebels never really had the upper hand, but also this is a video game that people are going to be playing on a multiplayer basis, because, you know, it's all we have aside from that mission bullshit. So yeah, the multiplayer, that's all that people have. So people are going to want to see balance with that, but this is not exactly a super competitive game. So yeah, I'm not defending Battlefront. I think the game should be a little more competitive, but this is definitely for people who are fans of the movie and they just want to pick this up to, you know, get immersed into the Star Wars universe. And the game does a very good job, actually, and, you know, at least it's not broken, but I know that it had some server issues. But then again, when you're releasing a title like this that's been hyped up for a year or two, it has the Star Wars backing behind it, and it's kind of a holiday movie, because you know damn well that they shipped out this game just so we could make it out there on time with the Star Wars episode 7. Episode 7. So, you know, and I highly doubt that they have even all the content finished, or even all of the content thought about for the post game, or all the DLC for the season pass stuff. So you don't really know what you're getting. And finally, something I want to take away, and that I hope a lot of people understand, is that this game, even though it doesn't have microtransactions, and EA is calling themselves the good guy for not having that, because, you know, it seems to be a more relevant thing. or another more relevant topic in the trend of gaming. I think that this is unacceptable. You know, you need to put more content into your game. You need to make it slightly more competitive. At least have voice chat on. You apparently have to grind out for weapons. Oh yeah, I never talked about weapons. So, you know, people are like, oh yeah, well, you know, 11 weapons, that's sort of enough. So I think that this is also another interesting topic, because on the topic of weapons, if you take a game like Battlefield 4 versus a game like Battlefront, in Battlefield 4 there's a lot of variety in weapons that you could pick up and play with, but ultimately people are going to gravitate towards a more specific set amount of weapons. But also when Battlefield 4 first came out, the vanilla weapons were much more diverse when the game first came out, but over time, when the game became stacked with more content, and then, you know, the game was broken. So yeah, they wanted to add more and more guns over time. And, you know, long story short, the point that I'm trying to make is that people are going to gravitate towards the best guns, or maybe like 3 or 4 guns a class. So ultimately you're gonna have 12 or 16 guns that people are actually going to use, that you will actually see. So, I kind of understand why they went for a smaller amount of weapons, but then again, people are also going to want variety. But tell me what you guys think about Star Wars Battlefront. Do you think that I'm being too much of an old person and not picking this up and not wanting to support this? Do you think I'm being too critical on the game? Do you think I'm wrong for wanting in-game voice chat, for not wanting to have to grind out hours and hours for weapons? Or do you think that I'm just, like I said, being old and not caught up in this current season pass accepting ritual that people seem to love to support? So anyways, tell me what you guys think. And the final point I wanted to make before I leave is, remember that this is a business. You can be a fanboy as much as you want, you can love this game to the death, but if you truly wanted to do what was right for the industry, don't buy a season pass. And if you enjoy the game, more power to you, but just don't buy the season pass. Just vote with your wallets. Anyways, it's Batty. You should check it out. Tell me what you guys think about this. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Twitch, and have a good one.